part one of our build. We got this 2001 Sportster in here that's been caught in a fire. We're going to take it apart. We're going to get everything back together on it and make it look brand new. See, the wiring's all messed up and everything looks really bad. We're going to build some bars and do some other things with the bike as we're going on here. So we'll get it up on a lift. We're going to start taking it down, getting everything taken care of that we need to. We're replacing the tank, different things on the tank there, and getting everything straightened out. Here's the Sportster we're going to be working on today. This was the bike that was caught in a fire, and I got it in. Got the whole bike tore down, got the motor tore apart, took it apart. Didn't have everything with the motorcycle, just a lot of stuff that the guy just kind of threw on there after the fire. Main wire and harness and everything's gone, so we're working on that. Got the frame painted, just a little bit primer now. We got the engine, cylinders here, pistons. Got the primary and everything pulled apart. We got to go through. We're going to put all brand new gaskets. We're going to rehome the cylinders, clean everything up. After getting the frame painted, what we want to do here is go ahead and get this motor set down in this frame. The motor and transmission on a Sportster are all one piece. That's how they go together. That's how they are. Your traditional big twin engines are two. You know, you have just your engine and then you have your transmission. It's not the case here. So what we're trying to do is go ahead and get this situated in here and get the lines bolted back up to everything, the motor mounts and the rear. There you can see the transmission mounts on the back side. We're going to be installing the oil tank here on the frame. I'd like to get everything lined up, make sure all your holes and studs are lined up there. You have a little vent tube here that we're going to make sure is nice and lined up. Once we get that straightened out and lined up, we're going to be installing our nuts. Get your nuts lined up, get those on there. Once you get all that all said and done, everything's there. We can move on to something next. Tighten it down. The stator wires were burned up in the fire, so we had to get that old stator out of there. As you can see here, the silicone there at the top burnt the wires up. So we're going to get this one removed and get it out of there, and then we're going to be installing a new one that we have. Once we do that, we're going to be Loctiting those bolts back in and getting them properly torqued down to spec, and then you'll be able to have your new stator in there. So sure that we get the starter bolts in and get them Loctited, and then we'll get them down to the proper torque spec here. I like to use a little blue Loctite. Get those started in there. We'll get new gaskets installed here, then we'll move on to doing the wrist pins for the pistons and connecting rods and get those installed, and then move on to the next thing. Once we have the piston rings installed and have the pistons installed on the connecting rods, what we're going to do is go ahead and get the cylinder head here installed. Sometimes I really like to just do it this way and use a small pick screwdriver to really push those piston rings inside the cylinder there. Other people do it different ways. They like to pull the cylinder off and take the piston and stick it down in the cylinder first. Do it that way, then put it on the connecting rod there with the piston pin right through the middle. Either way works really well, so it's no issue.